first of all, we'd like to know something about you. Dario, where are you from?
I'm from Switzerland, in a small town called St. Gallen, which is in the east part of Switzerland.
And what do you do there?
At the moment I'm working in a company in the office. It's just like a holiday job, a little bit typing on a computer, yes.
And where are you from?
I'm from Salo. It's a small village just in the north of Italy. It's next to Lake Garda. But actually I've been living in Cambridge for about 9 months now. So I do live in here studying English.
Thank you. And Jackie, what do you enjoy most about learning English?
Well, I guess it's about communication with other people. I always loved learning languages, and I think English has always been my main one. So,
Jackie, do you work better when you follow a routine?
I think so, because it kind of gives me a scheme to follow. Otherwise, if I don't have a routine, I will feel a bit lost. So yeah, I do kind of follow my own routine. I choose my own rules. Yeah.
And Dario, when you're studying, how important is it for you to take regular breaks?
It's very important for me because I think if you study a long time, it gets harder and harder, and if you do a little break, make a little break, it's easier to get into the topic again and to concentrate again.
Thank you. And Jackie, how important is it to you to keep up to date with the news?
I think it's quite important. I mean, now that I live in UK, it's very, very important because I need to kind of know what's happening in Italy, which is my main country. And usually I watch I don't really watch TV. I just usually I go on the internet to find news and to see what I'm interested in. So, yeah.
Thank you. And Dario, do you prefer to watch the news on TV or on the internet?
Actually, in Switzerland, I watch the news on the internet, but here in the UK, I like to watch the news in the TV because I think it's better for me because I hear the language in English, so I learn a little bit as well.
Thank you. Thank you. In this part of the test, I'm going to give each of you 3 pictures. I'd like you to talk about them on your own for about a minute and also to answer a question briefly about your partner's pictures. Jackie, it's your turn first. Here are your pictures. They show people cycling in different situations.
Okay.
I'd like you to compare 2 of the pictures and say how challenging it might be to cycle in these situations and how the people might be feeling.
Okay.
All right?
Okay. So I guess in the first picture, it looks like it's a competition, like a race or something, and there's lots of people involved there. While in the second picture, just 2 people, they're cycling in the mountain. I think both situations are quite difficult because it's sad to cycle up to the mountain. It's kind of a rough floor. And also, I think there's no competition in the second one. It's just like for the pleasure of being in the mountain and just kind of leisure sort of time. And in the first picture, there's a strong competition there. People are just trying to reach, you know, just to get the first place in the race. So I guess in the first picture, people might feel a bit nervous.
Thank you. Thank you. Now, Dario, here are your pictures. They show people spending time on their own. I'd like you to compare 2 of the pictures and say why these people might have chosen to spend time on their own and what the advantages of doing these activities with other people might be. All right?
All right. Here, the man is painting, and I think in this time for his own, he is living his creativity, so he can create something new, and maybe it's also a good thing for him because he has to concentrate, but he can forget his problems about work because it's not his work, obviously, it's more his leisure time. And here this guy is in the forest, and he seems to be hiking in a forest all alone. And now he could, with sport, he tries to maybe forget or just relax, which is a little bit strange if you first look at it, but with sport you can relax from your normal things you do in your daily life, and he can now relax with just hiking alone in a forest and no one is there. So yeah, and the advantage of this activities is, like I said, you forget your all-day problems, your daily life and stuff like that.
Thank you, Dario. Now I'd like you to talk about something together for about 3 minutes. Here are some pictures showing people doing challenging jobs. First, talk to each other about the difficulties the people might have doing these jobs. Then decide which job might be the most satisfying to do. All right?
I was obviously thinking about this picture here because they are doctors, so they have to do with somebody else's life every day, and it's very difficult because basically their life depends on their ability to fix a problem or of course curing you.
I was first thinking about this picture where the two pilots, and I think a difficulty is you have to do a long training before you can start driving an airplane, and it's quite dangerous because if you can't really control the airplane, there are difficult situations.
Yeah, in this picture here, the guy is trying to, I think, restoring bones of a dinosaur or something like that. So it's a very, very delicate job. I mean, if you do things wrong there, you can affect the result of your research or what you're trying to discover, of course, about history or those kind of things. And I think it's quite related to this guy here because it's saving vase from the from down the sea. So it's still a very delicate job, and it's basically knowing about where are we from. And
yeah, as well here this guy is playing football, professional footballer, and it's a career to start a career in football business is very hard because there are almost millions of people who want to do this, and just a few can do this after all.
I do agree, but at the same time it's not one of the most difficult jobs you see in here. I mean, it's just about football, really. It's just about sports. Well, here you know you have to do with like somebody's health, so I think it's more difficult to deal with.
So maybe it's a little bit similar because these look like researchers a little bit working on this panda bear, and they are searching for this bear in the forest, and they also have a big responsibility because there are just a few bears left and they want to save them.
Yeah. So you think this one might be one of the most satisfying jobs?
Oh yeah, then? I would say, or maybe as well the pilot job, because you really reached something when you are a pilot, I think.
Yeah, I do totally agree with you. And also, I still would say about this one, I mean, you saved somebody's life.
Yeah.
And also I guess you've been studying years to do this kind of job, so it might be very satisfying.
Yeah, so we agree on,
on this
one.
picture, yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.